I have a feeling you guys are going to all pick the Lions. I don't know if you're giving the Bucs any form of chance in this game.
They get a chance.
How much of a chance?
I give them
45%.
That is very well, like 45-55.
So you think this is 50-50 split?
This can be.
I'm pretty damn confident in the Lions.
I think the Lions will win this game, but that's also a respect.
I wouldn't be
factor
surprised
to
if the Bucs win.
I would be pretty surprised.
Oh, see, talk to him.
I'd be pretty surprised.
I think the Bucs have a real
The
chance.
vibes over there in Detroit right now are crazy. Right?
But you're back.
No, I'm just speaking objectively.
Thank fucking God.
Well, I am kind of back, but I'm speaking objectively.
Dells, you letting him in?
What?
You're the honorary
He is the
Lions
honorary.
guy. You let him in?
No fucking way.
There we go.
I wouldn't either. But I'm saying, speaking objectively,
The
vibes are crazy over there right now.
I feel like there's a lot of things working in the Bucs' favor in this game. I think that they have Levante David who can lock down Sam Laporta. Levante's still playing at an elite level. They have an interior defensive line, and Vita Vea is like 2 guys in 1. He really gets after it.
Vita Vea is pretty. He's
2
like,
guys in 1 just seems.
I mean, he's massive.
No,
It's
he's
just
massive.
a crazy wording.
to be honest, I'm here for it. He is 2 guys in 1.
And I'm looking at how Todd Bowles just schemes up his blitzes and pressure packages.
2 guys in 1 man sound better to you?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. So,
doesn't.
like, how else would you want him to say it?
I would just say he's a big dude, maybe.
You just have a dirty mind, Dells. That's what
Honestly, I'm with you. Like, can you please get your mind together?
I need this will be the deciding
All right,
factor.
fine. If you were to say that, like, Vita Vea, he's a big ass dude.
Yeah, I
but Joel said he's like
guys in 1
2
man.
guys in 1.
Yeah, I ignored it because it was fine. See, he's a freak over there.
yeah,
No, I
thank
heard
you.
him, and that was cool. Like, it went off
We
my
should send you
shoulder.
to classes.
You got me.
You really
need
need some
therapy.
fucking help.
Rich coming.
I feel like with how
You kind of look like Vita Vea.
I've
With
heard
the
that.
hair. Yeah, now I'm looking at you. You kind of look like if you had more hair.
Yeah, all right.
you
Cut
kinda
the
look like
conversation.
That's my dog.
What the fuck were you doing putting that picture up of me in slow mo?
What picture?
I seen it on Discord. I just saved it and then posted it on Twitter.
Like
Because it
I
wasn't going to
said,
get the same reaction
his-
if they did.
If
you
his
know?
hairline was fixed up, maybe I.
No,
could
I
see
looked
it.
at the pic like 5 minutes later after I posted. I was like, I didn't have to do this.
No, you didn't.
You don't look like it.
You didn't even text me about it or nothing. You
I usually do shit just
Twitter.
randomly and just.
Yeah, you got one coming for you.
I don't think that the Bucs are outmatched. Like I think Todd Bowles sends a lot of pressure, and I don't know how the Lions can handle it. And the Buccaneers and the Lions are a similar team to me. They both have a similar identity. They're both great at stopping the run. They're a liability in pass coverage. Offensively, they both can really pass it. The Bucs have been running it better as of recently, but they're not a prolific rushing offense. That's where the Lions have the advantage. But I'm split on this matchup. I still don't know where I'm going to go yet. I really am kind of leaning towards the Bucs. I don't know why, but something is telling me that there's going to be at least one upset in the NFC, whether it's the Packers or the Bucs, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's both.
You're gonna go with the Bucs.
I'm feeling it, yeah.
Okay.
I was watching their first matchup this year. The final score was 20-6, and the Lions were kicking a lot of field goals. They weren't getting into the end
That was
zone.
in Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah, the Buccaneers
Detroit's
had
in a
some
dome.
turnovers, and I felt like, Baker wasn't playing well. I just think the Buccaneers are playing really well right now, and they can stop the run at an elite level, and they can get after Goff. You have somebody that can take away Sam Laporta at least somewhat or neutralize them. The Amon-Ra matchup is going to be hard no matter who you are. But then on the other side, I think the Buccaneers can move the ball down the field on the Lions with relative ease, with either targeting Godwin or Mike Evans, or they have other guys step up like Trey Palmer and Cade Otton.
It's just gonna be that red zone because we saw
Yeah.
the Rams be able to drive down the field. They got into the red zone.
score
Shout out
much,
to
yeah.
Detroit. They did a great job in that regard.
Couldn't hone in
The,
some
the
touchdowns.
Bucs are one of the worst red zone teams in the league.
That's why I say that.
I just have a feeling about the Buccaneers right now. I just have a
Good
feeling
feeling.
about
The
them.
vibes are up over
I
there.
get it.
I
The
understand-
the vibes are pretty good over there in Tampa Bay.
Yes.
But the vibes in Detroit, going into
You're
Detroit.
in a dome.
I understand the vibes are up in Detroit, but something tells me
This isn't a vibes pick for Detroit. I just think that
No,
they're a better
they
team.
I think
Yeah.
they are a better team, but I think the Buccaneers are capable of
Is this a
having
vibes pick for you?
better game. No, I think they match up very well against them. The Lions, I just feel like after coming off that first win at home, there's just a lot of emotions, and sometimes you ride those emotions into the next game, and you don't execute at the same level. I think they were really anticipating and facing Dallas. That's who they were really amped up for. I feel like Tampa Bay, they might overlook them a little bit.
I don't think
Wait,
you
but
overlook
you don't
anyone
think
in the
it's the same
playoffs,
way
though.
because Tampa just won a home game. So they're coming in with that same type of adrenaline. They just won. You know, they felt like
They were underdogs.
They
to
were
be
underdogs.
fair.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you can say the same thing about Tampa.
But I feel like the Lions were expected to win. They had pressure, and then it was the Matthew Stafford return too. There was just more storyline and build up for that game, and we all knew that was the biggest game of the week. Where the Buccaneers and the Eagles was an afterthought.
There was no good game.
Yeah, even with
except for the Lions around.
even with
Damn,
AJ
yeah.
Brown being hurt, the Eagles were favored. You know,
Yeah.
nobody was respecting or thinking the Bucs were going to win when it was clear they were a better team. Like,
They were.
The Buccaneers were a better team, and I think they
Smitty,
match
man.
up really well with the Lions. I do. I'm gonna go with the Bucs here. I'm gonna
Okay.
go with the Bucs.
I
I'm gonna go with
understand.
the upset pick.
Now, when it came to the Rams versus Lions, I thought that their offense.
So we're gonna get a fucking Tampa Bay and Green Bay NFC Championship game.
Green Bay to the bowl.
Is
bro.
that what you're telling me?
Jordan loves?
That sounds so terrible.
It
With all due
does.
respect,
It
like
does.
exciting for the Packers,
And
exciting
it's gonna
for
be in Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield versus Jordan Love.
That is where it's going to be. That would be crazy. Now, when it came to that Rams versus Lions game, I thought that the Rams offense would be better and just outperform the Lions in that regard, and that's why they pull away with the W. But when it came to Detroit's offense, the Rams tried their hardest. Apparently, according to PFF, they were able to get 15 pressures. I don't know if it looked like that when you were watching the game, but when he was not pressured, 22 of 22. Jared Goff was picking the Rams apart. Now, we understand that the pressure for the Buccaneers against Philadelphia was a lot. Even when they were just sending 3, sometimes that was enough to get home. We saw that on that safety over there late in the game. But I still believe that the Lions still should be able to match up even against this Buccaneers defense and still be able to put enough points up. When it comes to the Lions defense, their rush defense was solid up against the Rams. Also, it was for the idea that Matthew Stafford was just torching them with the pass. Why would you really run that much? But you do like to mix and match. Rashad White will get his opportunity. I'm going to keep that same conversation from last week into this week where I felt Kyron was the X factor. Them not getting him involved enough in the game. Also, of course, he did go out in the matchup with a few injuries.
Broke his hand.
It was broken. Official came out. He broke it. Wow. Oh, that sucks to hear. But Rashad White, obviously, we understand how much he means to this offense, whether it's in the pass or in the run. He's been super effective for them on the ground. If the Lions can limit him in that regard, I still anticipate that Baker will be able to throw in this game. Mike Evans had a couple drops. He could have had a little bit bigger of a game than he did. And I say a little bit, I'm being kind. He had a bomb that he dropped. And then Chris Godwin, you see Trey Palmer getting involved as well. Moore getting involved into the offense. Kate Otten getting involved in the offense. This is going to be a shootout, I do believe, similarly to the Lions versus Rams. But I think the energy that the Lions are playing with right now, I think the Lions are a slightly more talented squad as well. I'm going to go with Detroit here, and I feel pretty confident in that.
C.J. Gardner-Johnson had a quote about Baker that
This was funny.
Bulletin
that
board.
the receivers would be better if they had a better quarterback. That's what C.J.
Pretty
Gardner
insane
said.
thing
But then
say.
did you see what Baker said?
He just said he's a hell of a player.
No, Baker said, well, he mentioned Russell Gage, who's
Yes.
not even on the team anymore, so he's going to have to turn on the film.
Yeah.
I hope that's not a fake quote, but that's just when it read with
No, that's what
CJ's
Baker Mayfield said. And I just feel like giving a team bulletin board material like that, they don't have the secondary to cover Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. That is going to be an issue. And the Buccaneers are one of the best pass protecting teams in the NFL. They're top 5 in pass pro.
You know, I was thinking about it, and I know, Riv, you have to give your analysis real quick, but you mentioned that there is going to be an underdog pick that wins, and I don't disagree. It's going to be messed up when that underdog pick is Kansas City.
They shouldn't be underdogs.
But I just have a feeling they are.
Well, we're not at that game yet. So, Riv, do you want to give
Shouldn't
your
be
analysis?
underdogs. Anyways, you know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers probably played the easiest game of the week. In terms of just what the Eagles defense was showing them, what defense they were able to show the Eagles offense. I mean, they ran the same play and virtually showed them what they were doing every single drive. And the Eagles just said, nah, fuck it, we're going to keep doing these out routes. Hopefully it works, you know. As opposed to their offense, you know, the only thing they didn't do right, I guess, was they dropped a couple good looks like Drew mentioned. Like, they was just dropping a couple good ones that they had. Score probably could have been even better if they were able to catch those and bring those in. Detroit's defense played well in that Rams game as opposed to what we thought it would be. You know, we thought it'd be a shootout in the 30s. Second half in the red zone, that Lions defense played really, really well, and it gave me a little bit of confidence. This offense is able to move up and down the field. You know, like Dells loves to mention, Jared Goff is really good in the dome, and if he's not getting, if they're able to hold up and protect, Goff is able to just completely wreck your whole defense. Amon-Ra played well. Reynolds played well. You're looking at an offense with Jahmyr Gibbs, with David Montgomery, that two-man attack. Offense that can really light shit up. So I got Detroit, home team, coming off the better win, able to show me a little bit more on the defensive side against a better offense in the Rams. And then offensively, they just got a lot of power to them. So I go Detroit here.
Yeah, I do think this Bucs win over the Eagles is getting a little overrated. The Eagles are so bad, bro.
Getting overrated. They smoked them.
They did. The Eagles suck.
They do, but it was just smoking.
Not a good team. And what the Bucs have showed us really all season long, where they're just an average team. End of the season, they won 5 of 6, but when you look at those games, I want to say the most convincing of opponents beat the Panthers, Falcons. Green Bay is a solid win. Jacksonville, Trevor got hurt second half of that game. Lost
they're
to the
not
Saints
convincing at all.
They was smoking.
Smoked Green Bay.
They was smoking the Jags
They
before
were-
Trevor went out, though.
They were up on the Jags. Jags another team that's pretty
good.
mid. The Lions are clearly the best team out of all this bunch. This is going to be the best team they have played probably since that Packers game in Week 15. And even still, I think the Lions are probably better than the Packers at this point. I just love what I'm seeing from the Detroit Lions. Going into that game against the Rams, there was a lot of pressure on Detroit. You are the home team. You haven't won a playoff game in God knows how long, your first playoff game in 30 years. You have, of course, all the rumors about what's going to happen at the end of the season with Ben Johnson, and they took care of business. Of course, it was a very close game, went down to the wire. They didn't go out there and handle the Rams by any means, but they made enough plays both offensively and defensively. Excuse me, as my voice cracks, to get the win there. I am curious to see how Jared Goff handles the blitz against Todd Bowles. We know he loves to blitz. It happened 1,000 million times against the Eagles. I don't know if he's going to do it that much, just because what he did is a bit unprecedented, that the Eagles just couldn't pick up a blitz. I think the Lions can pick up a blitz because during the season, Jared Goff wasn't great against blitzes. He threw the second most interceptions with 6, but did have 13 touchdowns. But against the Rams, he was phenomenal. He was 8 of 10 for 110 yards and 7 first downs against the blitz. But it also didn't pressure him as much, I think you would anticipate. His time to throw when blitzed and with not blitzed were virtually the same. It's like 2.5 and 2.4 seconds. So didn't have a major impact there. But I'm just looking at this Lions team. I think they're more talented. I trust the coaching staff more, although Canales does a phenomenal job. He should be getting head coaching interviews. I trust Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell to have these guys up, because you're right. When you have such an emotional win, your first playoff game in 30 years, it's easy to go into that next game, maybe kind of walking into it instead of sprinting into it, kind of dragging through practice, because you're like, we kind of got that monkey off our back. And now we have an opponent who the Rams was kind of 50-50, but you probably feel pretty good because it's Baker Mayfield now instead of Matt Stafford. No respect to Baker. That's just how it goes. Stafford's been a better quarterback this season. But I think Dan Campbell has proven to this point as a head coach that in big games, this Lions team has showed up. Last year, you could look at it. This year, down the stretch, of course, when and securing the division, when Green Bay was making a little push, you had the Minnesota mid-season making a little push. But I like this Lions team. I trust their offense, their play calling, their offensive system, and defensively, I think they'll be able to make enough plays to keep the Bucs in check.